Welcome to Manifest Beyond Limits, the podcast that helps you break free from fear and self-doubt so you can create a life filled with abundance, joy, and fulfillment. I'm your host, Anaja, manifestation coach, speaker, and believer in limitless possibility. Each week, we'll dive into the mindset shifts, energetic principles, and manifestation tools that help you step into your power and design a reality that truly lights you up. Because here, we believe there are no limits, and anything is possible. You ready? Let's manifest beyond limits. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Manifest Beyond Limits podcast. This week, we're talking about redefining success and freedom and designing a life that's truly yours. When we think about success and freedom, these words have so many different meanings for different people. So I wanted to look up the official definitions just to see what came up. So what is success and who defines it? So when I looked this up, a few different things came up. Success is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose, the good or bad outcome of an undertaking. There was also another small note that said there is a thin line between success and failure. But that made me think, who determines whether a situation is good or bad? I've always believed everything happens for a reason, or that there's a purpose in everything. And there's actually this story, the Chinese farmer story, that illustrates this perfectly. So one day, a farmer's horse runs away, and the neighbors call it bad luck. But the farmer says, maybe, maybe not. The next day, that horse returns with several wild horses, and the neighbors call it good luck. But the farmer again says, maybe, maybe not. So then when the farmer's son breaks his leg trying to tame one, it's seen as a misfortune. But that broken leg actually saves him from being drafted into the army. And so the lesson behind this story is that what seems like good or bad fortune can often have unforeseen consequences, and that we should avoid immediate judgment because it's impossible to know if something is truly good or bad for us. So success is really a mindset. Another definition says the attainment of fame, wealth, or social status. And a lot of times we let society dictate what success should mean to us, from the jobs we have, to the money we make, to the titles, awards, accomplishments, lifestyle, or material objects. But you have to take back your power and determine what makes you feel successful. What would success mean to you? In the manifestation world, you mainly see people talking about material success, money, houses, cars, the luxury lifestyle. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with those things. But you have to be careful that you don't fall into the comparison trap, thinking you need to have the same things or lifestyle as the people on social media. It's really about getting honest with yourself about what would truly make you happy. So the second part of this episode is about freedom. So what is freedom beyond the physical? So freedom is the state of not being imprisoned or enslaved. There is, of course, the physical occurrence of imprisonment or enslavement, but there's also a mental enslavement that we have to free ourselves from. It's about regaining back control and power over your mind and brain and the way you think. It's said that we can have up to 60,000 thoughts per day, and 95% of those are unconscious, being repeated on a loop until there's an awareness and a challenge of them. There's so many things we think and do throughout the day that are automatic. We don't even have to think about them. But that's sometimes where the problem exists, because we can get stuck in this cycle that's not always good for us. Another definition says, the power or the right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. Freedom to me is also about using your voice, standing up for the things that matter to you, using your voice and your power to make a difference in the world, to make an impact. Freedom is also defined as the state of being physically unrestricted and able to move easily. For some, freedom means location freedom, being able to move about, travel, and go wherever you want. It's also defined as the state of not being subject to or affected by a particular undesirable thing. That can mean freedom from poverty or debt, financial freedom, not having to worry about bills or expenses, being able to live your life freely. Another definition, the power of self-determination attributed to the will, the quality of being independent of fate or necessity. We can't control every circumstance, but it goes back to freedom of your mind, focusing on what you can control and what's within your power. And lastly, unrestricted use of something. For some people, freedom means time freedom, being able to do what you want when you want to do it. So this episode is really about rethinking what society has labeled as success and freedom and creating your own meaning and definition. It's about designing your life like an artist with a canvas, painting the picture of your life with every choice, every thought, and every inspired action. True success and freedom aren't just about what you have, but how you feel, fulfillment, purpose, satisfaction, happiness, joy, allowing yourself to think bigger than you ever have before. You get to decide what success looks like. You get to define what freedom feels like. And you get to design a life that's truly yours, one that feels authentic, abundant, and aligned. So take a moment this week to ask yourself, what does success really mean to me? What does freedom really feel like for me? And am I living in alignment with those definitions or someone else's? Remember, life isn't about living up to society's version of success. It's about creating your own, one that makes your soul feel free. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of Manifest Beyond Limits. I hope you're leaving feeling inspired, empowered, and ready to take aligned action toward your next level. If this episode spoke to your heart, it would mean the world if you shared it with someone who needs to hear it, or left a quick review to help more beautiful souls find this space. And if you'd like to stay connected, you can find me on Instagram at Manifest Beyond Limits, or visit manifestbeyondlimits.com to dive deeper into my world. And remember, you are powerful, you are supported, and there are no limits to what you can create. With that being said, go out there and manifest a life that's truly beyond limits.